Well, we are good to go. Oh wait, then I should also sit nice.
Wait. I'm not done yet. Wait.
We are not good to go. Except, okay, so I don't see my WhatsApp anymore, so I'll have to. Oh, okay, we're on.
And I'm back. There you go.
Okay, we're live.
Should we start, or are we waiting?
Yeah, we'll start the quiz in a few minutes. But it's good to see you, Fuldana. We've been in different calls all day.
Yes, and this part is so much fun. Well, all parts of the conference are fun, but you know, a quiz, that's fun.
I hope so. It was a lot of fun to make the quiz.
Yeah.
And the same counts for you, all your students who've been helping making the quiz, and that's a little sneak preview of what is to come in the rounds to come. No, I think it was a brilliant first day. I had a lot of fun at the poster exhibition. Wonderful opening ceremony with all the flags and the speakers.
I mean, I got so much. Everyone inspires you, right? I mean, the students and everyone from the opening ceremony. I mean, Mary Robinson, come on, like that was so exciting and cool to be part of that.
Yeah, I was fangirling.
Yeah. Were you the one that emailed her? Wasn't you that?
Yeah. She was a professor she is still a professor in Dublin, and she did the graduation ceremony for my program. So I can't really say that I know her, but
you know, you could say that you went to.
But I know her.
Yeah, no, that was really cool to listen to her, and I mean, amazing woman, just what we need, you know, inspiration to hear someone with that much experience talking and giving you that boost of confidence. Yeah, that's amazing.
No, because it's often you feel like, you know, what difference can I make, or how much can I do as one person? And it's a little bit what Susan was saying as well, you know, how the more you put in, the more you'll get out of it. So I hope that also counts for everyone participating in the quiz. Go all the way. Make sure you don't skip a question.
Yeah,
always
definitely.
Give an answer.
Yeah, at least try, even if you don't know the answer. Go with the, you know, gut feeling. That's what I always say. You know, at least give an answer and then see what happens.
And it's a little bit tricky doing this without our students in the room. So normally I'd be like, you know, raise your hand if you know the Sustainable Development Goals, but I'm gonna trust you all know them, and if not, you've all seen Mary Robinson, and this is one I don't like.
Oh, there it is. Where did you?
SDG badge.
Where did you get that one? I want one too.
I have a few lying here, so whoever comes to visit me first.
That's a trick. Nice trick.
It's 6 o'clock in the Netherlands. That means it's 5 o'clock in Ireland, and whatever o'clock wherever you're watching. I know some of our participants in Asia have already gone to bed or are ready to log off, but I hope you're all sticking around for this final hour, and we are going to do our best to make it fun, and I hope you're all enjoying watching this quiz in your clan group, discussing the answers together on Zoom, and we wish you all the best doing this quiz. So let's get started. With me here is Fuldana, who most of you have probably seen already. But maybe Vildana, before we start, you can briefly introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Vildana, and I am a teacher in Sweden. And most of this day, I've been with the teachers, talking to them, getting to know them, and making sure that they talk to each other, doing icebreakers. And now I have the pleasure to be with you guys, talking to Julian and making sure that you guys are fun. So yeah.
So let's get started. The quiz is fairly straightforward. Everyone is in their clan group. You were already in your clan groups during the second round of icebreakers. So hopefully you're still there. You give one answer as a group. So there's no need to individually answer. Within your group, discuss what you think is the correct answer. Submit that answer to your clan leader, and they will make sure that we get the answers. We will do the correcting, and we will see who comes out in the end and wins the quiz. This quiz has 4 rounds. We have a short little break halfway through just to give us time to calculate the scores. The first round is 9 questions, and you'll see why when we get to it. And the other rounds have 5 questions. So that way we hope there's some diversity in the questions and a little bit for everyone.
Oh, Julian, it seems like we don't have sound on the live stream, so maybe we have to wait for a second just to get
the first round
sorted.
is 9 questions, and you'll see why when we get to it. And the other rounds have 5
We've been
questions.
talking and no one has
so
been
that way
able
we
to
hope
hear us.
there's some diversity in the questions. I can hear from the other room that there seems to be
Oh,
sound.
Julian, it seems like we don't have sound on the live stream now. Okay, we'll see.
Jana, scream if you have sound.
There's like a 20-second delay, so she will scream in 20 seconds.
Jana screaming. That's great.
So far, it's awfully quiet. So,
does that make you concerned? Then is that it?
Oh wait, Diana seems to say. Okay, I'm checking. Diana. Oh, Diana said she fixed it.
Hey.
Okay, so we're good to go.
Yeah. For all the clan leaders who might be screen sharing as well, I guess it's important if you're screen sharing to click that you want sound as well when you're screen sharing.
I think I heard a scream, but I think the context was different, so I don't think that was the one I asked for.
Okay. Well, right. You seem good to
go.
Sorry.
Okay. No, thank you. So very briefly again, welcome all of you. Hopefully you're able to hear us now properly to the SDG quiz. And you've probably seen the title slide, but here you have it just in case. With me here is Vildana, and she'll do a summarized introduction of the introduction she just did.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Vildana, and I'm a teacher from Sweden. This whole day, I've been here with you guys, but I've been with the teachers, talking to them, having fun with them. And now it's time for me to be with you guys, together with Julian.
And what we're doing is the end of day 1, it's the SDG quiz to wrap up the first day and to test your knowledge on the Sustainable Development Goals. You're doing this in your clan group. As a clan group, you'll submit 1 answer for every question. So if you disagree, then you'll have to argue your way out in your SDG or in your clan group, and your clan leader will submit the answers. We have 4 rounds. The first one has 9 questions, and you'll see why when we get to it. And round 2, 3, and 4 have 5 questions. So hopefully there's a little bit in there for everyone, and you'll have lots of fun and maybe learn a little bit while we're doing this. And then I'm going to say over to you, Vildana, for the first round. And maybe before we show the first question, you want to explain a little bit what we're about to see.
Okay, So I work with 10-year-olds, and the first semester in 4th grade, I introduced the SDGs, so the Sustainable Development Goals, to my students. They've been working in pairs, interpreting the global goals. So each pair got a goal that they were supposed to interpret and make a box explaining their interpretation for others. And these pictures or these boxes, they are an exhibition at a local museum in south of Sweden. So they are teaching others about the Sustainable Development Goals. And I brought them here for you guys to enjoy too.
So here we go. And the question on the first round is always the same. Do you recognize the Sustainable Development Goal with this piece of art? And there is always 3 options for you to pick from. So in this case, option A, the box that you see made by Feldana students, does it represent SDG 1, no poverty, SDG 17, partnerships for the goals, or SDG 7, affordable and clean energy?
I just have to say, Julian, I was so impressed with my students. They've been so creative, and they had to reuse material to make this exhibition. So, it was all them. They could ask us, me and my colleague, questions, but they did all of this.
Yeah, no, I really loved going through these. It's very impressive. And I was wondering, actually, is this something you invented when you started teaching, or was this something that's already happening in your school?
No, actually, this was something that my colleague and I started together. So this is becoming, so we want to spread this in our school to the other classes and the other teachers, yes.
It's really cool.
Hmm.
And in the meanwhile, you should be now seeing question 2, another piece of art. You see all kinds of things hanging from the ceiling of the box and happening at the bottom of the box. And up to you if it's A, related to life on land, B, clean water and sanitation, or C, climate action. This one might be a little bit trickier.
They're not clear, all of them. So even I, who've been there when they made these boxes, now when I look at the pictures, I'm like, okay, it could be this one, or this one. But yeah, I mean, that's the global goals. Yeah, you can't work with one goal without working with several others, because they're connected to each other. That's the point with that.
Now here's number 3. Are you looking at a representation of SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions, SDG 4, quality education, or number 10, reduced inequalities?
So, Julian, pay close attention to the building and the windows. Can you see what I'm trying to tell you? To point out.
I did see it was a very particular color building.
Yes.
And I think there's someone in the window who isn't there anymore.
Oh yes. Who was there then, but not anymore. I had a lot of fun when they asked me, Rosanna, could you please help us with this picture? First I was surprised, and then I was like, guys.
Yeah, and coming from 10-year-olds, that's very aware of the world.
Yes, definitely. And they wanted a specific sort of picture. They weren't satisfied with any. They were like, oh, that one. I was like, oh God, okay.
Now, here we have very different people doing all kinds of different things. And up to you to decide if number 4 is about good health and well-being, about sustainable cities and communities, or about decent work and economic growth. There's actually a lot going on in this one.
Mm-hmm. And the details are really nice to this
Yeah.
one, I think.
And you said all of this is made with recycled materials.
Yes.
Very cool.
And I mean, there were some pieces like the picture before that I had to kind of like print out because, you know, it would be kind of, I couldn't say no. Sometimes it's hard to say no to 10-year-olds. They're very persuasive.
Well, I guess it's good if they know what they want, especially when it comes to, you know, if they're as determined about climate action, and they keep being as persuasive as they are now.
Yeah, they know how to argue for their point, definitely.
Now, here we have a little bit more minimalistic on the background, but there's various things on the bottom. Are you looking at an art piece about zero hunger, on life below water, or reduced inequality? It's sort of weird not to have anyone, like we don't have an audience.
Yeah, there's no one talking back to us
No,
or talking
it's
with us. It's the two of us.
Wave at the camera if you're having fun, and we'll just trust that everyone is waving at us.
We can wave to them.
Yeah.
Yay! It's very quiet. Like the whole day, there's been people talking, and you know, you're communicating with everyone.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
Well, there are pros and cons to everything. Yeah.
Here we have number 6. Again, we have some potentially, well, let's call them famous people, people you probably know in the art piece. And are we talking about partnerships for the goals, SDG 17? Are we talking about SDG 11, responsible consumption and production, or SDG 5, gender equality?
And I'm just, so there's this piece of paper with black background. I'm just going to be translating that to the global goals. So that's in Swedish, the global goals.
Well, I'm curious what it says in Swedish.
Yeah, well,
if you pronounce it.
De globala målen.
It's funny. The målen. It's a Dutch word for mill.
Mill. Oh well. Möllen. Yes, it says Möllen.
Yeah.
So the place where the mill is. Yeah, Mölle. Yeah, in Swedish. But that's with a O with 2 dots. That's
Yeah.
This is an A with 1 dot. You know, that's the 3 letters in Swedish that are very hard to pronounce.
Yeah. Now here we have one that I think most of you will recognize. Is it good health and well-being? Is it climate action? Or is it quality education?
I love the hair on these ones.
Yeah, very stylish. Well, I can't say their profession, but they're very stylish. I like the yellow dress. Very
It
hip.
kind of make me think of Einstein, you know, with the hair.
Yeah, it fits what they're doing. I'm trying to be cryptical. I don't want to give away anything.
No. I'm just saying the hair. I'm not telling anything about what they're doing here. No.
And then this is the second last one of round 1. Again, we have a beautiful box of art made by a 10-year-old Swedish student. And is this peace, justice, and strong institutions? Is this a representation of SDG 2, zero hunger? Or is this SDG 5, gender equality? And this one's actually, I found it a little bit tricky in the beginning.
This one?
Yeah.
Could you figure it out though? Do you think? Well, you don't have to.
I think so. I mean, I'm not sure if I remember all the answers, but I'm pretty sure I know what this one is. What is the yellow? I'm not sure what the yellow is.
Oh, the yellow, that's the body.
Oh, that's the body.
Use your imagination, you know.
Well, yeah, I think I was using too much imagination.
I think if you could see the pictures.
Wait, but you want to tell us what is on the pictures?
Well, no, I can't, because then I
Oh.
will help you too much with the answer. But if you could see the pictures, I think you would go like, ah, of course. It's colorful. One of them is very colorful. If that's any help.
We'll find out. Let's go to the final one of round one. So here we have one that's a little bit minimalistic in terms of color. Is this SDG 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure? Is it number 8, decent work and economic growth? Or is it number 15, life on land? This one's actually also fairly tricky. That might be my fault.
It is tricky, and I was really trying to, especially this group, they wanted to, like, they used, you know, they wanted everything to be kind of perfect, the lines really straight and everything, and they took so long to do this that, you know, they weren't really good with planning their time. And, you know, we can't work for 2 years with one unit.
Yeah.
They're 10-year-olds, so yeah. But
I mean, that's also skills that you have to learn at some point, how to manage your time.
Yes.
And speaking of, I hope we'll end up managing our time well, and end in time.
Oh yeah.
I think these were all 9, and also because we had a little bit of a technical hiccup at the beginning, we're going to go back to the start and show them all of you again. We won't keep them on the screen for as long, but we'll show them again. So this was the first one, and the question for all of these is the same. Do you recognize the Sustainable Development Goal that this art is a representation of? So these are actual pieces of art made by actual students in Sweden, in Vildana's class. They are 10 years old, and they were asked, make a box with art that represents one of the Sustainable Development Goals.
And they each got a specific Sustainable Development Goal. So, yeah.
So this was the second. Here we have number 3 with that house with a very particular color.
And it says UN was not founded. How do you say founded? Yeah, was it founded? Yeah, in 19. What year was it? UN?
1945.
Yeah, something
46
like that.
maybe.
Yeah.
Let's quickly continue before this turns into a history class.
Yeah. And what goal do you see here? Is it A, SDG 3, good health and well-being, B, sustainable cities and communities, or C, decent work and economic growth?
And that's all the time you get in this recap. Here is number 5, zero hunger, life below water, or reduced inequality.
Or what do you see here? Is it partnerships for the goals, SDG 17, or B, responsible consumption and production, or C, gender equality?
Well, given there's 2 men on stage.
I just thought that.
Well, maybe that means it might be about gender equality. Who knows?
Well,
who knows?
You never know.
We have number 7. Is it about global goal 3, about good health and well-being? About number 13, climate action, or about number 4, quality education? And then we'll move away from Einstein. Number 8.
Is it peace, justice, and strong institutions? That's A. Or is it B, zero hunger? Or C, gender equality? Again, or maybe.
Well, this one's difficult to determine, maybe.
Yeah.
Then we have the final one of round 1. Is this industry, innovation, and infrastructure? Is this about decent work and economic growth? Or is it about life on land? So in your clan group, make sure that you've reached consensus about which answer for every question. Give these answers to your clan leader, and then they will make sure to send it to Sam, who is on the call with us behind the screens, sharing the screens and sharing the live streams. And then we'll make sure that we get the scores in the end to tell you. Sounds complicated. Should be easy.
No. I think, considering the time that we kind of have to continue to round 2 without a break in between.
Well, that's a good thing, because there was no break here anyway.
Yes.
So this round has 5 questions. This is the first one, and it's about life on land. Which of these countries is not landlocked? And if you're not sure what landlocked means, you have a whole clan of other people to ask which of these countries is not landlocked.
So is it A, Malawi, B, Nepal, C, Pakistan, or D, Paraguay? It's not. That's a kind of like a trick question, which is not landlocked.
So 3 of these are landlocked, but one of them is not.
And which one is that?
So let's see how good your knowledge of geography is. Which of these countries is not landlocked?
So if I get the wrong answer to that one, because I'm doing this quiz too, it's really bad because I am a geography teacher.
Okay, well, I'm hoping for a full score from you then. Let's move on to question number 2.
Okay, life below water. Which of these countries is not an island? Is it A, Saint Vincent and the what? Can you pronounce? Yeah, sorry. Or is it B, Ireland, C, Taiwan, or D, Costa Rica, which is not an island?
So again, a little bit of a trick question in the sense that 3 out of these countries are islands, and we want to know from you which of these is not an island. And of course, many islands across the globe face challenges as the sea levels rise, and equally a lot of coral reefs around islands are being threatened, which is why it's important that we all step up when we have the opportunity. I'm gonna insert little inspirational calls to action.
Good. That's great.
So which one is not an island? Is it St. Vincent and the Grenadines for A, B, Ireland, C, Taiwan, or D, Costa Rica?
Okay.
Number 3.
Clean water and sanitation. Which of these countries has no river? Is it A, India, B, Germany, C, Mozambique, or D, Saudi Arabia?
So again, 3 of these countries have one or multiple rivers. I think there should be, no, there's not students from all of these countries, but hopefully you know a little bit about various countries in the world. And if you don't know it for sure, I'm sure there's someone in your clan group who does know the answer. Which one do you think? Is it India, Germany, Mozambique, or Saudi Arabia that has no rivers at all in the country? Which is obviously a struggle, because in a lot of countries, rivers not only provide water for drinking and for irrigation, but also there's obviously lots of fish and other animals living in or near the river. One of these countries doesn't have a river.
You know, I've never thought of that. I think I took that for granted that every country has a river in a way. You know, some things you just don't think about it.
The same here in the Netherlands. We have too much river sometimes, and we have floods. So
yeah, well, Netherlands is kind of like, it's a special case, right, with the sea levels and
yeah, we're a little bit like the drain of Europe. All the big rivers come to the Netherlands.
drain of Europe.
Let's quickly move on to question 4.
Sustainable cities. Which of these capital cities has the biggest urban population density? Is it A, United Kingdom, which is London with 5,700 square kilometers? Or is it B, Bangladesh, Dhaka? Is it?
Dhaka.
Yeah, with 47,000 square kilometers. Or is it C, Nigeria with Lagos, 14,500 square kilometers, or Colombia with Bogota with 4,300 square kilometers? Julian, you did these questions.
Yeah.
Yeah? Good, well done.
Yeah, I spent some time Googling some interesting facts about different places related to the Sustainable Development Goals, and of course this one closely links to SDG 11. You know, and it was also the conference theme in 2019, sustainability in the big city. In Turkey, Istanbul being a very large and busy city. And how do you do that? You know, how can you have wildlife, biodiversity, nature in a big city? How do you organize your social services if there's a high population density? So as much as there's benefits to living in cities, it comes with its own challenges as well.
Definitely. Let's continue. Is that the last question now?
This will be the last one, yeah.
Yes. Oh, look at that. Gender equality. Which of these countries has had a female head of state in modern times? Is it A, Brazil, B, Italy, C, Japan, or D, Russia?
So this might be one that you need to discuss in your clan group as well. Obviously, the picture, hopefully everybody recognizes Mary Robinson. She was the first woman president of Ireland. But there are some countries that have not yet had a female head of state. So 4 of these countries have had a female head of state, but one of them has not yet had it over the last couple decades. So is it Brazil, Italy, Japan, or Russia, who has only had male leadership?
The question is which country has had. So it's 3 that hasn't had.
Yeah. Oh,
and
wait,
one
did
that
I say
has.
it the wrong way around? Oh,
yeah.
Am I confusing everyone?
So 3 countries haven't had a female head
one
of
has,
state,
yeah, that
and
makes
one
more
has.
sense, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Maybe it was wishful thinking.
Well, which country had the first female? Was it, I don't know, was it Finland? They kind of first in a lot of things.
No idea.
Yeah.
I know that in the Netherlands we've had a female head of state because we've had a queen, but we've never had an elected prime minister that is a woman. So we also have some way to go still in the Netherlands. Unlike Ireland, with Mary Robinson and Mary McAleese, who were elected presidents of Ireland. That's a little fun fact. So let's very briefly go over the questions of round 2 again.
Yep.
So we had question 1 about life on land. Which of these countries is not landlocked? Malawi, Nepal, Pakistan, or Paraguay?
Life below water. That's the second question. Which of these countries is not an island? St. Vincent and the, again,
Grenadines?
Grenadines. Why can't I remember that? Sorry. B, Ireland, C, Taiwan, and D, Costa Rica.
And then we had the question about clean water and sanitation. Which of these countries has no river? Is it India, Germany, Mozambique, or Saudi Arabia?
That's a tricky one, I have to say. Or maybe not. Sustainable cities. Which of these capital cities has the highest urban population density? Is it A, London in United Kingdom? Is it B, Dhaka in Bangladesh? Is it C, Lagos in Nigeria? Or D, Bogota in Colombia?
And then finally, we had the question related to gender equality. Which of these countries has had a female head of state in modern times? So one of these countries has had a female head of state. Is it Brazil? Is it Italy? Is it Japan? Or is it Russia?
This is so
And that
exciting.
concludes our second round. And while you guys all send us your answers, and I'm going to wait until I get confirmed that we have all the answers received. And I think we have all the answers for round 1. So we'll start with the answers of round 1. And we won't yet go to the answers of round 2 because we're still waiting for all of you to send them in. So Vildana, you want to talk us through the answers to the art pieces that your students made?
Yes. So number 1 was clean energy, so C. And then number 2 was C also. It was climate action. Yeah. Number 3 was A, peace, justice, and strong institutions.
Maybe you can. No, go ahead.
What is the background, Julian? What is that?
So I think it looks an awful lot like a White House, possibly the White House, and I think I recognized a certain Mr. Trump behind the window.
Yep. You're totally right. Number 4 was the answer A, good health and well-being. So you can see the people, someone training, someone sitting, I guess resting, and someone going into the shower. Yeah. Number 5 was answer B, life below water.
I thought it was actually quite sad that on the bottom of the ocean there was all kinds of trash and plastic as well.
And life in the water, so the fishes, they're like pale ghosts, kind of. It was just, yeah.
A very, very bleak picture.
Yes, definitely. Number 6 was A, partnerships for the goals. So I guess 2 strong leaders and countries arguing for the SDGs. I hope.
It might have well been gender equality because it's also 2 men, and really maybe it's time for both of those countries to think about having a woman leading the country. but that's a
Ooh.
different discussion.
That is totally different discussion, but a good point. Number 7, the Einsteins, yeah, is the answer is C, quality education. And I joked with my students, I was like, are you trying to tell me something? Because usually my hair isn't this straight, it is all over the place. So I am kind of an Einstein. It's just today, you know, you do your best. Number 8, it is B, zero hunger. So in the pictures, you can see one of the pictures showing like, oh, good food, the purple picture, and the other one is, you know, the circle, like what you should eat, what your plate should have, all like the proteins and everything for every meal.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
and the
Yeah, so I
person
thought
that,
maybe the yellow instead of the body, it was someone eating fries.
there, well, yeah, it could have been. Yeah. And I was like, I asked them, oh, look, one of the men fell. And they're like, no, he's just hungry. I was like,
He's hungry. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and I
sure.
think one of the options was inequality, and I thought,
Well,
is it someone doesn't have access to food and is falling over at the table?
oh,
But
gosh.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
answer B.
Yeah, it was answer B, zero hunger. So no one should feel like that, essentially. And the last question, the answer is A, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And for me, I can see the industry, the innovation and infrastructure. If they had more paint color in that one.
And maybe all the innovation is happening inside the factory.
Let's hope for that.
Let's quickly go to the answers to round 2, because I heard we got all the answers as well.
Yes.
For the first question is life on land. Pakistan is the only country here that is not landlocked. So Malawi, Nepal, and Paraguay are completely landlocked, and
what
only
does landlocked
Pakistan.
mean?
So landlocked means that you have no coastline. So everything around the country is other countries, and only Pakistan out of these 4 countries has a coastline. Then question 2, we had life below water. Which of these countries is not an island? And only Costa Rica is not an island. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ireland, and Taiwan are all 3 islands, and Costa Rica is not an island. Then we had question 3 about clean water and sanitation. Which of these countries has no river? And Saudi Arabia is the only country that has no river. There's various big rivers in India. There's large rivers going through Germany, and Mozambique also has some very large rivers. And Saudi Arabia is the only country out of these 4, and also one of the few countries in the world that has no rivers.
It's all desert, isn't it?
Mainly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's easy to be deserts if you have no rivers. So
yeah. Sure.
Then we have sustainable cities. Which of these capital cities has the highest urban population density? And we didn't mention it, but hopefully you noticed that we accidentally put the answers on the question slide. So I hope you all got this correct, and the correct answer was Dhaka in Bangladesh. So of all these 4 cities, the population density is highest in Bangladesh. And then lastly, gender equality. Out of the 4 countries, only 1 country had a female head of state in modern times, and that was Brazil. So in Italy, Japan, and Russia, there has never been a female head of state in modern times. And then while we check the scores, and we can do that very briefly, here's a little puzzle for each of you to complete while you're waiting. Can you find the camel on this face? So this face is made out of different animals. Can you spot the camel?
I've seen this picture so many times, and every time I go like, where is it?
Well, actually, I saw one version that had a camel somewhere, and then another version that didn't. But the version that had the camel was so blurry that I actually took the one that didn't have it and I put my own camel in it.
That's one way of doing it.
So yeah, have fun in your clan group trying to find the camel in this picture, or recognizing all the other animals. Maybe your clan animal is in it. I'm not sure actually. I see at least one already.
Yeah. I kind of want to take the computer and go like upside down. Maybe it's there.
Well, it's once you see it, it's hard not to see it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Always the way. Ah, aha, that was sneaky.
I think someone found it.
Aha. I was very discreet with that, wasn't I?
And meanwhile, I am just writing down the scores. So, well, I would say, do you want to know the scores? But no one will answer except for you, Vildana, so you can decide. Do you want to give everyone the scores already and see where they stand?
I don't have the scores. Where did you
No.
get the scores? You have the scores.
I have secret channels. Currently in first place is the Headshot Clan.
Ooh, well
with
done.
13 points, closely followed by 3 clans that are in second place. So we have Seahorse, Bumblebee, and Squirrel, sharing each 12 points and therefore a shared second place. Then in third place, we have Red Setter with 11 points. And then with 10 points, we have the Puffin clan. So the differences are very small. Everything is still possible. There's 10 more questions to come, 10 more points that you can win. So let's quickly move on to round number 3 about SDG facts.
Interesting.
And these questions all have the same setup. So it's 5 questions and they're always true or false.
Okay. There are approximately 770 million people who could not participate today because they are illiterate. True or false? Literate? How do you literate?
So is it true or is it false that there are 770 million people today who are unable to read or write and therefore could not participate in a quiz like this because they can't read the slide? Of course, it's one of those facts. You hope it's false. Is it actually false or is it true? And it all has to do, of course, with quality education and teaching children as young as possible how to read, how to write, but also many adults in many countries are still unable to read or write.
And remember, it's when you talk about the gender, when you talk about the SDGs, there's so many different SDGs that you work with at the same time. So it's quality education, but there is also gender equality, and there is also poverty and everything that goes into that you have to work with.
It's all linked.
Yes.
But right now the question is it true or false that there are around 770 million people who could not participate today because they are illiterate? Moving on to question 2.
Only 10% of all food worldwide is being wasted. Is it A, true, or B, false? 10%.
10%. So all the food worldwide is 10% being wasted. Is it more? Is it less? Doesn't matter. Is 10% true or is 10% false?
So you just have to go with, 10%, true or false.
And this, of course, relates to zero hunger. Some people say there is no shortage of food in the world. It's just about how we distribute the food and how much of the food we waste. But if we would actually have fair distribution of food and we would not waste, there might be enough food for everyone and no one has to be hungry. But does that mean more or less than 10% of all food is being wasted worldwide? And therefore, is it answer B, false? Or is it correct that 10% of all food worldwide is being wasted? And is it answer A, true?
But if it's less than 10%, then it's false. Oh.
Only if it's 10%, it's true.
Yeah. Ooh, the largest wind turbine is taller than the Eiffel Tower. True or false? I like the questions that you put together. Very nice. Did you draw this, or was it Jana?
No, this is the internet.
This is the internet. Oh. It would be kind of fun if you said, "Nah, it's me."
No,
I just did
wish.
that.
Although maybe I could manage this. Well, I think that, and then probably it would look very different. But yeah, this of course has to do with affordable and clean energy as we're switching from fossil fuels to other modes, other forms of energy. One, of course, is wind energy, and there's constantly innovation in the types of wind turbines that are being produced. And do you think it's true or false that the largest wind turbine is taller than the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France?
And I can't ask you what you think, even though you don't remember the answer. Can I?
I mean,
are we helping them? If we
no, I think the scores are so tight. I think we should let them fight for their own points.
We're being a little bit mean to them, aren't they? No, I'm kidding. The 22 richest men have more wealth than all the women in Africa. True or false?
This one, of course, has to do with inequality. Wealth and money are distributed unevenly across people and across countries. And do you think it's true that the 22 richest men have more wealth than all the women in Africa? So 22 men versus all the women on the whole continent of Africa. Do you think the statement is true, or do you think it's false?
So there could be less men that are richer than all the women in Africa, or there could be more men.
It could also be that it's only 10.
Exactly.
Is it true or is it false?
Ooh, I can
like
almost hear the discussions here now.
I like that you went from should we help them to let's make it more complicated.
Yes. I was like, no. I can almost hear the arguments. Ooh.
Yeah. And let's go to the final question. There are more people living in San Marino than there are islands in the Pacific Ocean. So San Marino is a tiny country within Italy, and on this map you can see it in red. So it's a very small country inside Italy. And do you think there are more people living in San Marino than there are islands in the Pacific Ocean?
Wow. What a cute little country on this map. It looks like a shrimp.
Very small shrimp.
Yes, very, very tiny. Does that mean that I'm hungry? That's your shrimp.
Probably. Well, in Sweden, the same as here. We're coming to dinner time.
Yep.
And of course, this has to do with life below water. There's very many islands in the Pacific Ocean, and a lot of them, and we talked about it already, are being threatened by sea level rise. And some of these countries are only 1 or 2 meters above the sea level. So any change in the sea level can have enormous effects on the populations and the biodiversity. on Pacific Islands. But right now the question is, are there more people living in San Marino, this tiny country within Italy, than there are islands in the Pacific Ocean? Is it A, true, or is it B, false?
You're making it very easy on them. You're taking the largest piece of, water in the world and all the islands there compared to a tiny country. You never know.
Who knows? Let's very quickly go through them again. So number one, there are approximately 770 million people who could not participate today because they are illiterate. Is it true or is it false? You want to
Only
do this
10% of all food worldwide is being wasted. That's number two. Is it true or is it false?
The largest wind turbine is taller than the Eiffel Tower. True or false?
The 22 richest men have more wealth than all the women in Africa. Is it true or is it false?
And finally, there are more people living in San Marino than there are islands in the Pacific Ocean. True or false? And then we'll quickly go on to round 4. This is the final round, 5 more questions, and then the first day of CEI 2021 is finished. This one is to do with SDG art. Now, we've already had the special art round in the beginning. This is art made by grown-ups, and it all relates to a sustainable development goal. And the question here for the next 5 ones, there's no multiple choice. Tell us, out of the 17 sustainable development goals, which one matches the piece of art the best? So maybe you think there could be multiple options. Which one matches the best? So here we have picture 1. It's, oh, I'm not going to say what it is. You can see what it is.
It's amazing. Wow, where is this? Do you know?
This one was actually in the Netherlands.
Wow, have you seen to see? Have you seen to see it?
Yeah, I've seen it myself. It was here in the city where I live, and I think it was sort of a traveling art installation. So I think it went to a few different places.
Yeah.
So which sustainable development goal matches this piece of art best?
Now everyone is Googling all the SDGs. Ah!
Which 17 was it again? Now here we have picture number 2. This was an art installation in New York, if I remember it correctly, but I Googled these pictures a long time ago.
Oh, Oprah.
So match these pieces of art to one of the sustainable development goals.
I can see a pattern here in this picture.
Yeah, so maybe you know 1, 2, or even all 3 of these people. Maybe someone else in your clan knows them. Maybe that can help you.
They're really well done. Well made.
Let's see if you know this one. This was an art installation in Latin America, and I'm not entirely sure in which country anymore, but it is in Latin America. I mean, it is what it is. It's a large glass circle, sphere, orb thing.
Eye.
It looks a bit like an eye, yeah.
I was like, was I supposed to say that? It does look like an eye. A very big eye, a very scary eye.
But I think that's the reflection of some of the building on it. The question is, again, which sustainable development goal does this relate to?
Makes me now think of Lord of the Rings. Oh God.
Yeah, it has that vibe. Now, this one is maybe a little bit easier. You see a piece of art here. And which sustainable development goal do you think it matches?
I think they'll figure this one out.
I think so.
Yeah. That's very nice of you to be so kind after the last one.
Give one easier. And then here's the very last picture of the very last round. Can you match this piece of art to one of the Sustainable Development Goals? Which one suits best? So again, check what your options are. There are 17 possible answers, a little bit more than the other rounds, where it was just option A, B, C, or D, or even less, true or false. This one, there's 17 options. Which Sustainable Development Goal suits best?
So could you have used one Sustainable Development Goal several times?
No, they're all unique answers. So if you have an SDG double in this round, then you've done at least one question wrong.
Okay.
And we'll quickly go through them again.
I was kind of expecting you to say, maybe, just
No.
because.
And in the meanwhile, I'm checking if we've received the answers for round 3 already, so that we can go to the answers.
Mhm.
So this was picture 1. Here we have picture 2. Here we have picture 3. So again, if you don't know what it is, it has something to do with the Sustainable Development Goals. I don't know if that helps, but
With this picture?
here's number 4, and I think this one was easy enough.
Yep.
And then finally, we had number 5. So let's go to the answers. We've got all the answers for round 3, so we can show them to you.
So there are approximately 770 million people who could not participate today because they are illiterate. That's true. Oh, that's terrible.
Unfortunately, yeah. So there's 770 million people in the world, both children and adults, who are unable to read or write.
Yeah.
Then the second one, only 10% of all food worldwide is being wasted. Unfortunately, that one's false because it's more than 10%. And I knew how much percent when I was making the quiz, but that's too long ago, so I don't know anymore.
I think it's 30% actually.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's 30%.
I was thinking 25, but so 30 might be. So unfortunately, so there you go, kids. Don't waste your food.
Yep. The largest windmill turbine is taller than Eiffel Tower. False.
Yeah, so actually the Eiffel Tower is taller than the tallest wind turbine yet, but who knows how big they'll become in the end.
And the 22 richest men have more wealth than all the women in Africa is true.
Yeah, so that's of course again a sad little statistic on how unevenly wealth is spread across the world. And then number 5, there are more people living in San Marino than there are islands in the Pacific Ocean is false. So there is more islands in the Pacific Ocean than there's people in San Marino. The more you know.
And I just want to say one thing. The good thing with this conference is that we're meeting together and we're doing something about these facts here. So even though you become it is a bit sad that it is the way it is, you guys have a chance to actually do something about this. So use this opportunity to network, to learn new things, and to do something about these results. I just want to say that before we continue.
Yeah. And we're actually waiting for the final clans to submit their answers. So if you have not yet submitted your answers to all the clan leaders, please do it now so we can wrap up and go to the scores. But we can't show you the answers until you've submitted your answer, because otherwise you might be cheating.
And this is very important. No cheating here.
one of the grand rules for caretakers.
Exactly.
So to all the clan leaders that are watching, please submit your answers. And then I'll wait for the signal that we can continue. I hope you're all having fun. I hope you all had fun. I know it's been a long first day, but hopefully today was also a fun day with lots of icebreakers, and the opening ceremony where you didn't have to work too hard. You could just sit back and listen to our speakers. And hopefully these questions were challenging enough that it was fun, but not so challenging that you had to break your brain over them. While we're waiting, remember that all of you will be in workshops tomorrow, and don't forget to check if you need any materials for your workshop. Have them ready at the start of the day. Sometimes it's as simple as having pen and paper. Other times it might be something more, but just to keep in mind that you check them before we start. Now we have all the answers here, so let's quickly check the answers to round 5. The first one was a whale made out of plastic, which of course relates to life below water.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was statues of famous women relating to gender equality. The third one is actually a sort of solar panel, so you can generate electricity with it, so it relates to affordable and clean energy. The children with the book is of course quality education, and Lady Justice relates to SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. So we have all the scores. I think the only thing left to do for us is announce the winning group of the 2021 SDG Quiz. Drum roll. The winner of the quiz is the Hedgehog clan with 21 points. So congratulations, very well done. 21 points. Second place goes to the Bumblebee clan with 20 points. Very close, second. And then in third place, we have shared third place, Red Setter and Squirrel with 19 points. We have the Seahorse clan with 18 points in fourth. And in fifth place, we have Puffin clan with a still very respectable 17 points. So well done, everybody. We won't keep you here for any longer. We had fun talking to you, even though you couldn't talk back to us. I hope you had fun. I hope you get a good night's sleep or have a relaxing day for those who are only at the start of the day. And then we'll see you again tomorrow for day 2.
And it's going to be so much fun tomorrow again. I can't wait.
Get a good night's sleep or have a relaxing day. And thank you for those who are only at the start of the day with me. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you, Julian. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I like
nice.
that. Yeah, and I like it's going to be so much fun the quiz. Tomorrow. It was so much fun last year too, and this is fun again.
It's always difficult knowing, you know, is it not too difficult? Is it not too easy? But I think given